How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Nasty Civilian segment of Colorado Custom Leather and Blades. I am your host, and my name is Nate. I'm the owner of Colorado Custom Leather and Blades, and this is getting to know me behind the hammer and the anvil. Kind of tweaking the intro here. But anyways, guys, so this week we're wrapping up the contract my wife and I are on here in Utah. I'm a traveling knife maker. My wife is a nurse contractor, and we just spent 14 weeks here in Utah. A little bit over that with travel time and stuff like that, but it was only supposed to be 13. She got extended because we went to Mexico. Check out the Los Cabos video. It's pretty freaking cool. But I want to talk to you guys and give a little bit, and I encourage you not to just click off of this because I'm rambling. The reason why I do these blogs is because I want to inspire people and open people's eyes to the reality of what it means to be a knife maker, not just to how competitive it is, because it is the wild, wild west. I will say that it's not as competitive as security contracting businesses because every major city has 10,000 of them. Okay, I'm not saying that. It's not that competitive, but you got to know your stuff. And I don't just mean know how to make a knife, but you have to make it your own. So, with that being said, and having the challenge of being a knife maker traveling, not having my shop, I've learned quite a bit on this contract that I want to share with you guys. And then we're going to talk about some final RV lessons because of how fun this has been learning this. And we have another year and a quarter probably to go until we're done and we're getting a house and I can have or start building the shop of my dreams where I can start teaching and so on and so forth. And then we're going to do the verse of the month for January, starting the new year, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. So, with that being said, let's jump into it. Number one, and I'm going to show you guys a photo, okay, of what my workstation looks like. It's outside. I don't have it. I don't use my awning because the plastic table I have is great for some things, but not all things. I need to have a stable platform for my grinder and my vise that's not, bolted down so it moves around and stuff. And for safety and stuff like that, I have to keep that in consideration. So I'll use the back of my tailgate for my truck. That is my workbench. And it comes with challenges like weather. But this is the number one thing that I have learned. And if you are a knife maker, I'm going to tell you this: don't take for granted your time in your shop. You can get a lot more done than you think you can. Um, and I'm learning that I've wasted a lot of time sometimes by just taking, too long of a break or something like that. And now I have in the factor that I need to utilize as much a daylight as I can and weather that's clear and workable because I'm doing this outside or right here in this chair at this makeshift desk when I'm doing leather work or something like that. That's fine all inside, but outside when I have to run my grinders and stuff, there's other things that come into play. Weather. This reminds me when I started knife making back in Ohio when I built a cold forge out of a lawnmower deck, and this is when it was Iron Lighthouse Forge. It's now Colorado Custom Leather and Blades, but that's where this started. I mean, the inspiration came from my foster dad with the knives that he made out of Damascus and stuff. But back then, I had a 4x32 grinder Grizzly. I had a handheld drill like I'm using now to drill holes. And I mean, as I said, I had a cold forge. I didn't bring my forge or anvil or any of that. I'm doing all my forging and heat treating, all the stuff that survives the cut, if you will. That's heat treated, and it's successful, and I like the hardness on it. It passes the test. It comes with me. I assemble it on the road. But as I said, I'm working outside, so I have to think safety when it comes to weather. If it's raining, if it's snowing, if there's a lot of snow, I can't really put my grinders on stuff because I'm afraid that water's going to get up into the motor. You'll be like, well, that's silly. You can dry stuff off. Yes, I know, but when it's snowing or raining, like it's done here quite a bit, or it's even sprinkling or something like that, I have to keep in consideration safety for myself, not just to get shocked, but I don't want to suck water up into my motor and kill my grinder because I can't replace it right now. But also, if that causes a spark and it causes a fire, there's 30 people on each side of me altogether that have really flammable combustible stuff known as propane tanks, including myself. So trying to be responsible and respectable to my neighbors is also another thing I have to keep into consideration. But Also, I don't have my drill press. I'm using a handheld drill to drill my scales, which is something that I'm learning, not taking for granted my shop time. Spend an extra 2 hours, even if I'm dead tired after forging all day, punch those tang holes and then drill some handle material and then keep it with that knife. Mark a number or whatever. That's what I'm learning. That's what I'm going to be doing on this next contract we're going to be going on in 5 weeks, wherever that's going to be. But these are the challenges. I mean, I showed the photo. That's my workspace. And on days like today, where it was beautiful out, wasn't too cold, I got to tackle a piece of history. This is a Vietnam bushcraft knife, really it's a machete, that I did some restoration work, cleaned up the spine, replaced the handle for a guy that his dad carried this back in Vietnam, survived that, and I did not know, maybe I'm wrong on this, but this is stamped with the United States Marine Corps. I did not know that they had blacksmiths back then. But that's really cool. But look at that handle work. That's ash wood that I burned, and I think that looks just pretty. Anyways, so moving forward to RV lessons, guys. I did an episode on this, and I'm gonna do it again. Learn how to use your RV toilet properly. It is nothing like your home toilet, nothing like an actual restroom. It is exactly what it is. It is an RV toilet. Okay, it's a different type of plumbing system, and this is what I learned. Okay, I talked about filling up the bowl a little bit more than you're supposed, and doing that like 2 or 3 times. Okay, got that check, but if you want to avoid what I also talked about that I'm glad we didn't have, and I'm hoping we don't have right now as we're about to leave, is a pyramid, and I'll let you put that image into your mind. You have to fill up your black tank like 30% of the way and then use your toilet. The reason being is because there's not enough liquid, or not liquid, water getting down there to wash everything to the base where it can be drained out. If you don't run enough water, even if you're doing your not even courtesy flushes, but the protocol flushes for using your toilet for number 2, even number 1, it still isn't enough to keep things flowing properly. And then you'll have a fun time like we have been for the last almost 3 weeks now. So learn how to use an RV toilet properly. That's what we're learning. Number 2 is pay attention to your propane tanks. We thought something was dead in here for a couple days, and just to find out that it was actually our propane tank was pretty much emptied, that it started to putting off fumes that were it was just propane, but it stunk horribly. And once we found it, it was because propane tanks will actually put out a fume that that uh, that will basically not stay like in the stove. It'll just start to leak out. It's not that you have a propane leak. It's just because you need to go refill your tank. It doesn't have enough pressure and everything's just leaking out. If that makes sense. That's the only thing I can basically baseline it to. And lastly, enjoy your time RVing, because it is an adventure within itself. You'll learn so much. There's always something to do. There's always something that you want to learn to fix. And I'm learning this. It is better to learn to fix things yourself, because we were going to call somebody for a toilet issue. It was a $500 single day service call for somebody to drive an hour away. That was the cost of him to diagnose the problem and travel time. That wasn't including the fix. That's extra. Learn how to fix things yourself. All right, guys, in closing, the verse of the month is going to be Isaiah 44, no, 43, starting at verse 18 going to 22. And the reason why I'm doing that and not just reading 19 is because it gives the whole illustration of what God's word is saying to us. And this is perfect for the new year, okay? Look, God is doing new things all the time, but we have to be able to be attentive to what he is doing and not just be like, okay, God, what's taking so long? He's doing something big for you. He's doing something new for you. It's just not time for you to realize it yet, or it's time for you to realize it and stop looking for the other thing when he has placed it right in front of you. So listen to this. Verse 18, remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The wild beasts will honor me, the jackals and the ostrich, for I give water in the wilderness, rivers in desert, to give drink to my chosen people, the people who I formed myself, that they might declare my praise. So look, guys, it doesn't matter who you are, what you've been doing. God is God in the hills and the valleys of your life, the seasons in your life. He is king of all of it. All he asks you to do is just say, hey, look, I can't do this without you. I don't want to do this without you. Help me along with this. Guys, God, having a relationship with Jesus is not a religion. It is a walk. It's a journey. It's an adventure within itself. And walking hand in hand with him without the religious lies, things illuminate in life so much clearer that from the beginning of your life, from when you were in your mother's womb, formed to this day, he had a plan and a purpose for you. And the first start to knowing that is giving your life to him and saying, God, I surrender. I want to walk with you. I surrender my life because so far I'm not understanding it, and obviously you do because you're the author and the finisher of my faith, author and finisher of my life. So says your word. So guys, give him a try. Don't give religion a try. Give Jesus a try. God bless you all. The next Nasty Civilian will be at home. We'll see you then.